Hey team, I hope you're doing extremely well and enjoying the game. This video today is going to focus on everyone's favorite subject, which is making gil. Specifically, the gil making opportunities that exist right now in the Diadem. So if you're looking for a more comprehensive gil making guide, some guides that cover a myriad of subjects, please check out the channel. I've got a ton of gil making guides that cover a ton of different ways to make gil, whether it's just for battle jobs or gatherers or crafters. There's a ton of great information there on the channel. However, there is a lot of money still to be made via the Diadem in Final Fantasy XIV. The reason I love this so much, so when I started in the Diadem, when 5.21 came out, I was about 32 million gil. I'm now at 55.5 million gil, and I've literally done nothing other than Diadem to make this gil. Haven't been playing a ton lately, but I hit it really hard when Diadem first came out, mostly because I wanted to get this title, the Saint of the Firmament, for ranking highly, which I was super proud to get. And what's great about Diadem is it's still active content. It's still something that's going on right now. So if I head over to the Sky Builders board, you can see that this round of Ishgard Restoration is not yet done, which is, I'm so glad they extended this out so much, especially since a lot of us have more time right now to spend in the game. The first round of restoration, wow, did that go way too quick. What this second round has allowed us to do is not only have more gil making opportunities, but really have an opportunity to level up gatherers and crafters like we've never seen before. So if that's something you haven't gotten into yet, I would highly recommend doing so while the restoration is still going. But even when it's done, this will not be dead content, and I'll show you why in a minute. But if I go to my summoning bell here, and I go to Kid Karate, and I go to the sale history, you'll see everything here other than this Lakeland Flower Garden is Ishgard Restoration and Diadem related. These are all materials and things, I guess other than the cordials there as well, that you get from Ishgard Restoration. When I logged back in today, I had 996,000 gil waiting for me. A lot of it came from gathering scripts and buying these dyes and selling 4 of the gunmetal and 4 of the pearl white for 100,000 gil each, and that was 800,000 gil just from those items. So certainly a good amount of money to be made here. If I head over to the script exchange, this is, I think, what a lot of people don't think about when they consider making gil with Diadem. Yes, the materials don't sell for a ton individually, but number one, you can gather a lot very quickly, and number two, you also get scripts to buy all of these different items, minions and dyes that you can sell on the market board and make a good amount of scratch. So I'm going to take a look here and see which items are still selling for a decent amount. So it looks like the grade 2 stuff is doing pretty good. These are for the expert recipes. Looks like the wheat is selling for a decent amount. And it looks like the resin and the cloud drop are selling for a decent amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Diadem fishing guide and take a look at this and see which fish dropped the resin and the cloud drop water. So it looks like Vampiric Tapestry does the cloud drop water. It looks like the Tupexuarquara gets the resin. The Cloud Cutter gets the resin. Another reason we like this one is because it has this 40 and 50 script fish that you can get. The Gobby Mask are also very popular. This one has cloud drop water, resin. Looks like it just has one that does the resin though. So I think Blustery is going to be the route to go. So I'm going to head over into the Diadem. A couple things you'll need to have prepared as you do this is you'll need to have a fisher leveled up. If you don't have a leveled up fisher, I would highly recommend ocean fishing to level it up very quickly. You will cap your fisher so fast via ocean fishing, it's insane. And while you're there, you might as well get the Shark Mountain Minion, which I will link to an amazing video with all the strategies you need to get those as well. Another thing you'll need is a culinarian that has desynth. So in order to be able to desynth as a culinarian, you need to be level 30 and then just do a quick quest to unlock desynth. You can get from 0 to 30 in a culinarian in a few hours. It's amazingly quick if you do levy quests, and you can get that culinarian leveled up. So hopefully you have those things knocked out and you can just go right into Diadem. But if not, within about probably a day or so, you could get leveled up in both of those things from 0 and be able to take advantage. So right now the weather is the dust storm. So we're going to use the guide to follow the weather as well. And the reason is because the legendary fish that you can get during the different weather storms, they give you a ton of scripts. So we're going to focus on the blustery area when there's no weather, and when there is weather, we're going to follow the guide to go where we need to. Another thing I like to do is, since I also have a botanist and a miner leveled up, is when there's the weather, there's also some legendary nodes that pop up there, and if you're leveled up enough, you can grab those too and make some extra gil. So when you get to the node, you got to look for the section of it that has your collection link, and then you want to use your different abilities to grab as many of these as you can. So for botanist, I use Blessed Harvest to increase the number obtained by 2, and then the Bountiful Harvest 2, which increases the next gathering attempt, and I do that as much as I can until I run out of GP. And this will be my last opportunity to grab extra. Also, team, please make sure you bring a lot of high cordials with you when you come into the Diadem, or you will be going significantly slower than you need to. Alright, so we are going to fish here, because during the dust storm, if I go back to my guide, there is the Amalarararcaris that you can get with a red balloon. So I'm going to go into my bait, and I'm going to pick red balloon. If you have Mooch 2 available, please do not use Patience. It will save you a lot of GP and allow you to fish more constant. Alright, so I got the cloud dude. I'm going to go ahead and cast that out and see if I can get a Gobby mask for the extra script fish. And I'll know it's a mask if I get one. It's not. So as you're going through this, the weather patterns are 10 minutes each. So you'll get 10 minutes of weird weather, and you can tell obviously when weather's going on because of the sky change, and then you'll get 10 minutes of no weather, and it just constantly does that. 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off, and that will kind of dictate where you want to go. And what we're looking for here is the legendary tug. Keep in mind for this specific one and the dragon that you can get, when you get that legendary tug, if you are in Patience, you want to use the precision hook set. If you are impatient and you get the other two, you want to use the powerful hook set. Alright, so you come out of the diadem, and I spent about an hour in there, and this is what I got. Not a great haul. I didn't get a ton of Gobi masks or Ramallasauruses, so that will cause me to get a few less scripts than I had hoped. But what you do when you're done is you go over here to the resource inspector first, and you just start hitting auto submit, request inspection, auto submit, request inspection. And what that does is it gives you the approved versions of what you got, and make sure you do it for any of the gathering classes that you used when you were in the diadem. And now that you're done with that, you can desynth them. And I'm actually going to go back to my house to do all of that work, and I will be right back with you. Alright, so we're back at the house, and we are going to desynth these approved fish that we've gotten into different materials. And what's nice about this is as long as you have that culinarian with a level 30 or above and desynth unlocked, you're in good shape. Now your mileage may vary. It does say you need a 440 desynth culinarian in order to do this. Now, it's my understanding that at this point in the game, you can desynth anything at any level. It just changes the number or quality of items you get. I don't know how that will affect diadem. So one thing to keep in mind is if you don't want to do the culinarian or you don't have the culinarian, you can also just use your miner or your botanist and just go gather the materials directly. I like using Fisher. I feel like I'm getting more materials per hour using the Fisher. And but another thing I want to show you real quick is go into your keybinds and go to system and make sure you have something set up for confirm. This is going to make your desynth of all these items go significantly faster. And while you're here, also set something up for cancel. That helps a lot. Having confirm and cancel will help you with housing glitches and things like that. So having both of those set up is a good idea anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into desynthesis here. I'm going to click on one of the fish that I got. I'm going to hit desynth. And then once that's done, all I have to do is just keep hitting that numpad 0 that I set up, and it makes this go significantly faster. You can watch YouTube videos while you're doing this. You can do all sorts of things, and you just don't really have to pay a lot of attention other than when you're switching from one fish to another fish. So let's go ahead and go through these desynths and see what kind of stuff we got to sell. Alright, so we have gone through and desynthesized everything, and what you see on this first page is what we earned in our hour spent in the diadem. I also got enough scripts to purchase a couple of the high-end dyes, so I got one of the gunmetal black dyes and one of the pearl white dyes just to really kind of showcase what you can earn here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into one of my retainers that doesn't have anything. As you can see, I have not been keeping up on my little storefront here, so this will certainly help. So I'm going to go ahead and start placing this stuff and checking prices, and we'll talk through some tips there. So you always want to, when you go in to sell something and you bring it over, you always want to obviously look at the pricing history here, look at what they're currently selling for, how often they've been selling. So as you can see, a whole page of these have sold today for $250, $230, right? So you might want to go in and say, okay, I'm just going to price it at $199 But why do that when it's been selling for significantly more and you've only got a couple ahead of you? Only 40 of them ahead of you. So I'm actually going to dip below this one. I'm going to go with like 235. And that may not seem like a big difference, but this adds up very quickly when you're looking at all the stuff you're putting up for sale. So here, this is not selling for much, 75. Looks like they've sold quite a decent amount, about a third of a page today. So not selling as well. Looks like there's quite a few low ends. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine right at 74 and be the best price there. And you just kind of go through and just use common sense. So here's a bunch for 130 and they've been selling as low as 100. So this one I am going to undercut by that 1 gil. So I'm going to go 129. Go ahead and put this one here. Cotton balls, 280. So this is a decent selling price. Looks like they've been selling for 300. So I'm going to do 289. Make a little bit extra gil there. Now, another thing to consider is when you've got more than a stack of 99, you're obviously going to have to break it up into multiple stacks. I've got 217 here. So that means that I'm going to have to do 3 stacks of roughly 70 a piece to keep them even. I always try to keep my stacks even. So I'm going to go with a quantity of 70. These are not selling for very much at all. And I'm just going to match that lowest price here. So I'm going to make that 30, do another 70, make that 30, and then just sell the remainder. See how that makes your stacks nice and even when you kind of do that math? These are not selling great at all. In fact, that is selling for what I can get right from the vendor. So I'm not even going to put that on the market board. I'm just going to sell those right to my little vendor here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Another low price one. So here it's interesting. They've been selling for 17. But yesterday they were selling in the 70s. So here you could be like, all right, I'm going to go with this low price that everyone else is doing. Or if you don't mind sitting on it a little bit, you could triple your gil. Now we're not talking about a ton of extra gil by comparison. So I think what I'm going to do is just go with the 24 here and just call it good for that one. Bring this one over, 97. So again, you're looking at this and I'm sure you're like, that is not a lot of money. I'm just gonna match that price because I've got a lower stack. And what I mean by that is, see how these are stacks of 99? If someone needs a smaller stack like what's been selling here, they're gonna grab mine first. And do not be shocked as soon as you're done with your retainer here, some of this stuff starts selling within minutes. People are still picking up this stuff very, very quickly. All right, here we go. So here's a good priced one. They've been selling 750, 300, but all that's on the market board is over 2,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and price mine because obviously I don't wanna, I mean, that's probably not gonna sell real well. But if I do 1,000, that will sell. I'm gonna put this over here. Alright, so going through and adding up everything that we've got, and keep in mind this was not the best hour spent in Diadem I've had. We didn't get a ton of scripts comparatively. We made 404,492 gil on that mission. That is just for what the dies we bought with the scripts and the materials that we gathered. It does not include any materia that we got from extracting from our gear, and it also does not include any of the crystals, which we got a ton of crystals it didn't include any of those either. So conservative estimates, but I would certainly think that that warrants taking a look. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully it helps you earn a little bit of extra gil when you're just trying to find something easy and mindless to do in the game that will also help you get, like I said, some extra gil. I've made roughly 24 million gil spending a ton of hours in the diadem. So more videos coming very, very soon. I hope you have a great one. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Literally about 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so I would certainly appreciate your vote of confidence. Let me know in the comments if there's any type of video that you'd like me to make, and have a great one and stay safe out there. Thanks, team.